Hi, family. Welcome back. We are finally back with season 5 of the Gold Corner. For those that don't know me, my name is Joel Ojeda, and I'm the creator of the nonprofit organization and the YouTube channel called the Gold Corner. I created this in memory of my 2-year-old daughter, Mia, who was diagnosed in 2017 with neuroblastoma. She fought like a true warrior, and 10 months later, she was called back home. And I created this just as a platform where we can speak about the reality of what these warriors go through and what childhood cancer is really about. Welcome to the Gold Corner. Let's do this.
And now it's time for the main event. This is the moment you have all been waiting for. In memory of Mia Ojeda. Dedicated to all the brave little warriors that have fought and the ones that are currently fighting childhood cancer. For the thousands watching around the world, fighting out of the Gold Corner, it's time!
Tonight, I am very excited. I have a very, very good friend of mine that I consider my sister. She's been in a previous episode in one of the previous seasons, but she is back with us. And she's going to be sharing a little bit of the story of her daughter, Warrior Dakota, of what she went through. But the reason she's back is because she has very, very exciting news, which I am very happy about. I am very proud of her. She is publishing her first book, which will be out next month, titled I See You. Shari, last time we spoke, you were in PA. Now you're in North Carolina enjoying a little bit warmer weather. So, Shari, just wanted to say thank you once again for being here on the Gold Corner. Thank you for always being there for me, for being my sister. We can't wait to hear your story for all our new listeners, all our new subscribers. Shari Ann Almeida, now from North Carolina. Welcome to the Gold Corner, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you first and foremost so much for having me once again, for creating this space for parents like myself to not only be heard, but to be seen. So thank you for always being here for me. You are my brother, and I just absolutely adore you. And we are in this fight together forever. So, hi, my name is Shari Ann Almeida. My daughter, Dakota Ann Almeida, was diagnosed with leukemia at 6 months old. What started out as a normal day for us, I was a physical therapist assistant at the time, and I had my normal half day at work, and got Dakota and went to take her to her pediatrician appointment for her 6-month well visit. And it ended up turning into what I thought was the worst day of our lives, but it was just the first of many. Dakota was diagnosed with infantile leukemia at 6 months old. For much of the first year, we ended up living in our hospital, our treating hospital. And during that time, we lost her twice due to breathing complications. But she's about this big, but she is a hell of a fighter, and she kept swinging, and she came back. And she has been in remission since April of 2021. So she is currently 20 months in remission, and we actually go in for counts tomorrow. So for those of you that don't know, the war never ends. The fight is never, ever over. Even though Dakota has finished treatment, the after is just as treacherous, if not more treacherous in many, many other ways as when you are in treatment, both for the child and for the parents. And Dakota is still seen every 2 months for counts, just to make sure that she stays in remission. She will not be considered cured for at least another, they say around 5 years is when they could be considered cured. But you just never know, right? So we just keep going for counts, and in between we throw glitter at the wall and hope for the best. So that's our story. Yeah. So yeah, through our journey, I actually had 3 blogs. So the very first one I started was called Dakota Ann's Army. So I started that as it was just an extremely easy way to actually take what was going on in our little bubble and be able to put it out there for everyone to see. Because when you're in treatment, you need to be completely isolated. You don't get to see many people, and texting gets hard after a while. So it's easier just to put everything out there. So my very first blog was Dakota Ann's Army. And it was just that, just a daily update as to what was going on in our lives. And then I felt like I was holding myself back. I'm a little bit of a spitfire, and I have a tongue, and I just felt like I was biting it a little too often for my liking. So I created another blog called Warrior Moms, and it was just a space. And the very first post, in fact, actually says this. This is where I'm going to say all of the things that you're not supposed to say. So I did put the warning out there, and I did, and it made me feel better. What was crazy was that really I was afraid it was really going to be off-putting for people, and I'm sure for some it was, but it also really opened up a lot of gates and a lot of doors for many other people, and they started thanking me because I was saying all the things that we typically censor ourselves with doing. So so that only pushed me even harder to keep going. And then when we finished treatment, I was in this weird space, and I'm still in this weird space. I don't know that it ever goes away, but one of my ways of coping and navigating the after, I love to write, so I created another blog. It's called Cheers to Mom Fails and Throwing Glitter at the Wall, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, I don't know any parent that doesn't ask and sit there and lay in bed every night and wonder how many different times they failed that day. But all the stuff in between, you're throwing glitter at the wall and hoping for the best, right? So it's very much a blog where I'm just navigating the day-to-day life in the after. A lot of people throw around the word normal, and I don't really know that. And somebody asked me the other day, actually recently, they said, when was it that you and Dakota started to feel normal? And I'm completely honest, when somebody asks those things or even says anything like that, I don't know that there ever will be a normal for us. And I think I accepted that a long time ago. I think from here on out, it's just taking it day by day and creating our own version of normal, whatever it may be, whatever works for us, you know? So that's where the third blog came. And many people would say, you know, you should really write a book. And I'm aggressive in certain ways, but I'm extremely passive in other ways. And I am extremely type A OCD, and I am my own worst critic. And I just, for a very long time, was like, there is just no way, you know, that I could write a book. I am just not that cool. I'm really, really not. And somewhere along the line, I grew some courage and decided to take people up on some of these opportunities. And some people had put me into contact with other people, and I started navigating a little bit. And I'll be completely honest, Bellasteri, they are an incredible publishing company. They are, it's actually a husband and wife publishing company. They are both siblings of pediatric cancer warriors, and they're both authors, and they created a publishing company for people just like us, which is incredible. And Dana was completely honest with me right from the get-go. She said, I suggest you shop around. And I did. I took my time, and I definitely looked around, and there were some big wigs in some high places that I spoke with. And there was a lot of fluff, a lot of nervousness, but there was some fluff. And I just kept feeling like they just didn't get it. For me, it had nothing to do with the dollar sign. It was more about the point and the advocacy and the eyes, and really understanding the depths of all of it, and that it's never ending, that it is always ongoing. So one day I picked up the phone on my front porch and tail between my legs, and called Dana, and I just said, like, you get me. You really, really get me. And it's because she isn't a cancer mom, but she's in our world and she understands, So, and it was the best decision. She has been absolutely incredible throughout my entire journey. And so I See You is actually the first of many, as I am a woman of a plethora of words. And we have been on an extremely long journey, and there is just no way to take it all and condense it into one. So there will be multiple. So this is the first part of our journey, and kind of how we started out, and where some of our ups and downs and all arounds. And it's actually on Amazon right now, just a few hours after releasing onto Amazon for Kindle. It hit #1 for cancer, so yay. And I'm proud to say 5 days later, I still hold that #1 spot, so I'm super stoked. Not so much just for the title, but just that people are paying attention. Like, that just means the world to me, Pre-sales for hardcover and paperback will actually be by the end of this week, so look for that. That's super exciting. And the link itself, which I'm super, super stoked about, is actually going to be on our Warrior Moms United page, so warriormomsunited.com. And that is a whole other thing that I started with a bunch of other cancer moms, and it was just us holding each other through the walls that were barely holding us in and holding us up. And our mission is just to connect cancer moms with other cancer moms. And when we were in PA after Dakota's treatment, that's where I've lived my whole life. My husband is actually from down south, but lived there my whole life. And in our after, one of the ways we chose to navigate some of our aftermath was we decided to change our environment and to change everything around us, to try to figure out if we could pick up some of the pieces and move forward. And it was one of the greatest decisions we ever made. So we packed up and we left PA, and we are in Carolina. It was 78 degrees today in January. Love that. But before I left, I did meet with my other warrior moms, and I just talked to them because they're like, well, you're leaving. Like, what now? What do we do? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you guys want to do? So we decided just to branch out and help other women like us do the exact same thing. And that's what we've done. So we are now, I can officially say, national. We do have branches of Warrior Moms in other states, which is phenomenal. And more recently, I got a phone call from one of our warrior dads back home in PA, and he said, Mama, I want to do Warrior Dads. And I was like, yes, this is phenomenal. So there's officially Warrior Dads too. But dads do their thing. I am not trying to play dress up with them or do anything like that. I let them do their thing. But we are so proud and so honored to call them our brothers and our warrior dads fighting right along with us. We're just so stoked for them. So yeah, that's what we've got going on.
Wow. So I mean, when you say that you got a plethora of things, you're not kidding.
Right.
So, wow. And okay, so for all our viewers, I know Shari here touched, maybe 5 or 10 minutes about, Warrior Dakota story. Mm-hmm. You are really not going to want to miss getting one of these books, because I have had the blessing of hearing the story in detail. And let me tell you something, it is just, if you ever doubt that God exists, when you hear a story like Dakota's, I can guarantee you it's going to change your mind. It's such a powerful story that impacts your life. I mean, me having gone through what I did with my daughter, just hearing Warrior Dakota's story was just, it completely changed me and it made me see things differently. So I know she just touched a little bit on it, but I can guarantee you and promise you, you want to hear this story in detail. Now, Shari, I'm not too sure as far as the publishing company, your publicist. I know with my book coming out, there's certain things that I can and can't do. I don't know if you're able to, but it would be an honor if you could, and if you don't get in trouble, if you could just read to us just a little part, just kind of give us a little sneak peek of something that you wrote in the book. Are you able to do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
great.
I can do that. Okay, are you ready?
Bring it. Let's do it, sister.
Okay. While I was twitching with fear, with the devil's pistol in my spine, standing on a stage, people were throwing banana peels. Every warrior family has a choice in the course of action with their child's diagnosis. Not only do they choose how to make an attempt at saving their child's life, but they also choose whether to do it privately or with a megaphone. I played tug of war with myself for over 1 month before I stepped into my light and picked up the microphone. Vulnerability is something that quite literally forces me into a corner, cowering like a battered woman. But once I got over myself and my self-loathing feelings, I realized it had absolutely nothing to do with me. I wasn't put here for myself, but for others. I had a choice to suffer in silence as I had grown accustomed to because crying is weakness and weakness is not permitted. Or I could step outside of myself with my shaved head and my tattered pieces. I could choose to showcase my vulnerabilities, our weak moments, and our hell on earth to help others in the know. I chose to shine the stage light on my darkness to expose pediatric cancer. I begged people to look at all of our grotesque. I pleaded with people far and wide to share every bloody, gory detail of our journey. It could be perceived that I created an audience out of vanity and greed. I still beat myself up, shaking my head in wonder at how I missed my mark. I chose to strip myself down, exposing every black hole inside me, lathered in leftover chemo, blood, vomit, and disgrace. I stood alone on a stage with my chin tucked into my chest. My scars were invisible to the naked eye, and I know I look like a damn fool, but I didn't do it for me. I did it for her, for them.
That is, first of all, thank you. And that is just so powerful. And
Thank you.
It's the reality of what we had to go through. And that's one thing that one of the biggest reasons why I decided to do what I do with the channel is that people really don't want to speak about the reality of childhood cancer and what it's doing to our children and what it has done to our children. But I wanted to bring the reality of what it really is, and now the aftermath of everything, right? Because we talk about PTSD, we talk about you get all the support when your child's fighting, but
Mhm.
then once your child either is in remission or passes, survives, whatever it is, all that help is gone. And now
Yes.
all you have are the battle wounds, those scars that at let's be realistic, probably for the rest of our lives are going to be still
Yep.
open, and
Right.
we're going to be feeling these things for the rest of our lives. But that is the reality of where we are and what we
Mhm.
live. And you and I have talked about a lot of personal things and how it has affected our personal lives,
Mhm.
and what we decide to show people through our social media, through a lot of things. It's just a little bit of what we go through. What really gets us is what happens behind closed doors. And if you don't have the faith in God, if you are not mature in your faith and your walk with God, it can lead you to attempting suicide. It can lead you to not
Absolutely.
want to be here anymore, not want to do anything anymore, because we've all experienced that.
Right.
um
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just really, I mean, for our viewers, you really, you're just gonna need to, purchase one of these books, and I'm not getting any commission off of it, okay? So I'm not just telling you to buy one. So on Sunday, today is Sunday when you're watching this, we recorded this a couple of days before, so actually as of tonight when you're watching this, the pre-sale is already going on. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be putting all the links in the description here in the bottom of the video. Please, please, please. And like Shari was saying, it's not, with what we do, let's be realistic. We're spending a lot more than what we actually make. A
Yes.
lot more. I mean, the ratio is a lot to very little. But we don't do it because of that. We do it
Right.
because we made a promise to our children, to ourselves, to God, that we were going to be a voice. And if He decided or allowed us to walk this road, is because He wants us to speak on it. And we've been chosen. And if you're a parent that has gone through this and you don't think you have a voice, let me tell you that your voice is extremely powerful. It might take a while before you want to speak on it, or it might take, you're gonna grieve, and you're gonna grieve the way you need to. And just like
Mhm.
Shari was saying, there's some things that shouldn't be told to us parents. There's some things that should not be said, but a lot of people have not walked in our shoes. And if you
Right.
haven't, you're blessed. And if
Right.
you have,
Yes.
you know exactly what we're going through. But seriously, the link is going to be here. You really, really need to do this. You need to check out this book because it's so powerful. It's really, really going to touch your heart and change your life and your perspective on a lot of things. um and thank you so much for sharing that. So also talk to me a little bit about, I know that you already said about the Warrior Moms. I know you
Mhm.
have your website up and running. You guys
Mhm.
are so close to being an official 501c3. What do you
Yes.
guys do there? And I know you gave the website. If you can give it to us again, and
Mhm.
what is it that you're doing there with Warrior Moms?
Okay, so Warrior Mom started just as when you're admitted, you're on this floor, your whole life just changed. Your husband's sleeping on the floor, your baby's in a crib, and you don't know if she's gonna live through the night, right? And you're told that there are other parents on the floor just like you, um, just a few doors down, but because of necessary HIPAA laws, you're not necessarily allowed to go hunt each other down, right? So for me, it wasn't until about 6 months into Dakota's journey that I actually started meeting some of these mothers, and it just organically happened where we just started talking and couldn't shut up. Surprise, surprise with me, right? But we would hop on FaceTimes and just call each other, text each other, and it was a huge blessing to be able to just text somebody or pick up the phone, number one, and know that somebody was actually going to answer the phone. And for just to be able to say out loud, this sucks, and they totally get it. The person on the other line, before you even get the words out, they totally hear you. All of your feelings, everything that you're going through, all of the mental stuff you're going through is validated without you even having to say a word, which is just so incredible. And we found that to be so very powerful. And we wanted to share that. What we had begun doing together, we wanted to share that with other women. So it has started out in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. And that's where we were, all together. We started a private page on Facebook for Lehigh Valley moms, Lehigh Valley Cancer Moms. And a lot of, some of our moms came from CHOP as well, just because it happens quite often. And like I said, when I left, I'm like, well, what are we doing? They're like, well, keep going. So within less than 2 weeks that I was down here, I started the same exact thing down here that I started back home, and it kept going. We actually have another chapter in Pennsylvania. We have 2 down here in Carolina. So it's actually really, really cool. And all it is connecting cancer moms with other cancer moms, allowing local, and we do stay local, just in that you understand when you're talking to somebody from your hospital, or hey, are you going to be at clinic today, or hey, are you going to be on the floor today, just to be able to walk by and cheers her with a cup of coffee. It's just it's so nice. We've talked about this so many times. This life that we live, it's so incredibly isolating. And you think that just, when it's over, that the doors will open up and it won't be so isolating, and that's not true. I find myself very often in a group of what I would consider regular moms, and I feel like all I talk about is cancer, and I take the conversation to deep, dark depths, and then I'm like this weird person sitting at the table, and I've just made everyone uncomfortable. So I just feel super comfortable with other families like ours, just because I can say those things and I'm not making everyone feel weird. Or maybe I am, but they just don't say it as much. I don't know. So we have the website, just so women from all across the nation can actually just have a place to say, hey, me too. And not just, cancer moms, it could be cancer dads, it could be cancer families, just to be able to say, hey, me too, I know of this here, and just to be able to connect, so we will absolutely still have our local chapters, and those will still be private, just because I think there's a camaraderie there, just of having people from your hospital. But the website itself, not only will it give a place for other cancer parents to connect, but also for other people that aren't in our world to be able to kind of have a look at what our world is actually like. And our hope is to be able to help cancer moms and cancer families all over to actually be able to connect and spread the advocacy, and make it not so shameful to look at us and to hear us and to pay attention. And then the overall goal would be to save more children's lives by actually just paying attention and looking. So
yeah, no, I think that's fantastic, and that's a great idea. And like you're saying, it's different when you speak to other people, right? And a lot of people, they have a good heart, and they'll listen to you. But when you're around other cancer parents, you don't need to say anything. Sometimes you could just look at each other and you know exactly what you're feeling, what you're going through, what you're about to say, what you are just, if you want to start crying or whatever, it's right. Just one of those unspoken things that we know, so just having that avenue, like you said, I think that's fantastic. And I think that's so great what you're doing there.
Thank you,
Shari. I man, we shared Dakota's story, a couple of years ago, maybe now. And I just want to say that I'm very proud of you and everything that you've accomplished now. And honestly, I mean, putting all the personal side of stuff, all the personal things aside, just where we're at now. I mean, when we first did the interview, you both and I were both in a very dark place, and we were, you know, crying and doing everything we could, just to be a voice. But where we're at now, it just shows the maturity and how God has allowed us to be here and helped us throughout everything.
Yes.
And like I said, I'm proud to call you my sister. I love you so much. I'm very proud of everything that you're doing. And I'm still holding you to that. I believe in the summer we're going to be doing a book tour together.
Yes, let's
With
go.
ICU and Miracle in Action. We're definitely going to be doing that. But yeah, Shari, we are going to be leaving all the links here in the description, from the website, from Amazon, from everything where you can pre-order your books. And we will also be doing, when is the official release date for the book?
So it's going to be February 1st. So pre-sale, like I said, for Amazon Kindle is already there. So if you order it for your Kindle, it'll actually, when you wake up on February 1st, it'll be on your Kindle. If you do a pre-sale for the hardcover or paperback this week, then it'll be about 5 to 10 days from that date of February 1st. Like that's the official release date, but it'll be in your home between 5 and 10 days after that, which you want to make sure you have, because I am having a launch party back home in Pennsylvania, and that'll be on February 25th, my birthday. All I want for my birthday is everyone to be throwing gold glitter at the wall and shining a light on pediatric cancer. So you want to make sure you have your books in hand. Come see me and throw some glitter at the wall with me. So yeah.
There you go. If you're in the PA area, and even if you're not, let's go celebrate Shari's birthday over there and take your book so she can autograph those books for you. I can guarantee you this is going to be the first of many. And I just, honestly, I just feel it in my heart to just, speak blessings over your life, Shari. And, this book is not just going to be sharing your warrior story, but it's going to touch a lot of people. And I think that the job that God has called you to do, you're doing it, and you're being obedient, and you're going to see how just God's going to bless you and your family. I believe this for you. I pray this over you and your family. And I just believe it in my heart. So yeah, Shari, before we finish this, is there anything else that you want to leave us with? Anything else you want to say before we finish?
I want to say that I love you and I adore you. And again, just thank you for creating this space. I look to you. I remember our first episode together, and I just looked at you as such a beacon of hope, because you really are somebody that has, again, just taken something so horrific and you haven't made it about yourself. You've made it about others and advocating for others. But not only that, but giving a space for others to share their grief and share their journey. And you're saying it's okay to them. And to be completely honest, you really gave me my brave to help me be able to do the exact same thing, and to take the grief and to take the pain and to say, you know what, it's okay, and I'm going to hold you through it. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for encouraging me and for being so incredibly you. I love you and I adore you. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that. And like I said, now, I'm going on year 5 that Mia's been gone, and it's been extremely difficult, and I'm going to be grieving for the rest of my life. But I just decided to just step out of that shell now and decide to be as happy as I can, because I want to be able to be of help to other people, and I want to be able to do God's work. And when we first spoke, and I've told this to a lot of people, and if you look back at my episodes, you're going to hear me say that I'm not strong, that I'm weak, but I don't believe that's true anymore. I know that I am strong. I know that you're strong, and if you've gone through what we've gone through, believe me, you're strong. So once again, we're going to be leaving everything here, all the description and all the links to where you can get the book. I can promise you it's going to be a blessing. So thank you all so much. You can also check us out at thegoldcorner.org, and you can see what we're all about and everything that we're doing. If you still haven't, hit the little bell so you can be notified when we do upload another episode. Once again, season 5 just started of The Gold Corner with my sister, Shari Ann Almeida. We just want to say thank you. This is who we are. We are The Gold Corner. We're a broken family, but we're broken together. Remember to live each day to its fullest, because tomorrow's not promised. And just hold on a little while longer, because we're almost home. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.
bye.